Have you always wanted to be a pastor?
No. I actually started out I always wanted to be a teacher. And so math was kind of my thing. So I decided that I was going to be a math teacher and a high school math teacher. So that's what I majored in. I majored in math and secondary education in college. Was involved in our chapel activities, but still never thought that as a call. And so I taught for 5 years after school. And it was during that time between dealing and working with my students and some of their issues that they were going through and feeling that God had something else for me to do that I very reluctantly I tried to run from it, but then I answered the call to ministry.
How is it like to be a woman in a leadership role?
It can be difficult at times because this vocation is thought of or considered as being a more male-dominated position, although now in seminaries, women outnumber men. And so it's been a little bit of a difficult time to try to get parishioners as well as colleagues to recognize women in leadership positions. Having a bishop that is female helps with that, and having district superintendents in the cabinet also helps with that, but it can be a struggle at times with folks who still consider this to be a male role.
Is there any difference between acceptance of your leadership between being a teacher and being a pastor?
Yes, because I think I had more authority when I was a teacher than I do as a pastor, if that makes sense. The students you could do what you needed to do to kind of gain or keep your authority. And sometimes, depending on the situations and depending on who you're seeking to serve, that can kind of come and go, and it changes in the different situations that you find yourself in.
How do you get all your pastoral and family responsibilities done in time? How do you juggle so much that you do?
You have to prioritize and get things done. I usually start with whatever somebody else needs from me and do those things first. Unfortunately, sometimes family things get kind of put on the back burner, but I try to kind of juggle all that stuff and keep everything in perspective, because if you don't care for your family, one thing I remember from a workshop I was in on boundary creating was your family goes with you everywhere you go. So you need to take care of them kind of first and foremost, because you're with them all the time.
And then how has COVID-19 affected your job and your role as a leader?
We have had to totally and completely change how we do ministry. We went from worshiping just in person to, at the beginning of COVID, worshiping in person, and then having someone do like an on-call type of conference call setting. And then it became, we're going to do this online, and kind of producing the service for online. So it was kind of learn as you go and try your best, and we're getting there. We still have some growing edges, but we're getting there with that stuff. So it's been difficult, and we can't see people as easily. You can't go and visit like you used to be able to do. So that has caused us to do Zoom calls and phone calls and that type of thing to keep in touch with those folks that we serve.
Thank you.
You're welcome.